This is a countdown video. It contains my own personal opinion on the subject matter. If you don't like my opinion, well, go make your own video for all I care.
So easy when you're evil. This is the light you see, the devil.
Number 5. Light Yagami from Death Note. Say what you want about this character on whether his actions were just and understandable, but Light Yagami is a villain through and through. And a very smart villain at that. Light is always 2 steps ahead of everyone else, which can make him a very difficult villain to defeat. Having one of the greatest weapons of humankind, the Death Note, Light dubbed himself the new god of the world and made it his job to rid the world of all the criminals and anyone who would commit evil.
And I will become the god of this new world.
This makes him a very complex villain, which can be very interesting to watch. I will say that I would have put Light higher on the list if it wasn't for the fact that his extreme god complex makes him act more like a middle schooler on Xbox Live than something like a Shakespearean villain. Besides a few hiccups, Light Yagami is a villain whether you believe that he is doing good for the world or not.
So, if you don't mind my asking, why do you keep checking your watch?
Oh, well, I guess it's because I'm Kira.
So easy when you're evil. This is the light you see, the devil.
Number 4.
You're trembling.
Who are you? Tell me.
Vicious.
And that name was all that was needed to make this strong female character fear for her very existence. It's Vicious from Cowboy Bebop. Vicious is a very heartless villain who values nothing and yet wants everything. His only main motivation in the show, besides taking over the syndicate, is to get back at Spike for stealing his woman away from him. But it's the way that he does this that makes him such an enjoyable villain. Whether it was from this heartbreak or from war times that are mentioned in an episode, Vicious just has a cold outlook on the world in his quest for power and control over Spike and the syndicate. Though Vicious as a whole can come off as a bit of a stereotype, it's still pulled off extremely well. From his deep menacing voice to his silver hair to the sword that he wields, Vicious is definitely someone who you never want to cross.
Perhaps, but he was a beast who lost his fangs. That's why he had to die, Spike. And that's why you have to die.
So easy when you're evil. This is the light you see, the devil.
Number 3. Zemaja from Hellsing Ultimate. So Major, would you like to start us off?
My friends, it has often been said that I like war. Friends, I love war.
There is only one thing that the Major wants, and that's war. A war so grand that, quote, will make hell itself tremble, end quote. He doesn't care if he wins the war or if he is crushed and killed by his enemies. The only thing that matters to him is that he creates a war that will satisfy him forever. And, oh, wait, sorry, I think he's still talking.
Do you ask for war to sweep in like a tempest, leaving not even ravens to scavenge from this earth?
In the end, the Major doesn't really do any of the fighting. He just sits back and plans every single strategy that he can think of. All he wants is a war, a massive war, and... My god, is he still talking?
We are but a single battalion, the remnants of a defeated army numbering less than 1,000 strong. However, I believe that each of you old warriors is equal to 1,000 of their sickly soft children. We represent a force that could easily defeat an army of 1,000,001 men.
If this entire 4.5-minute speech about the Major's love for war doesn't convince you enough, then you just don't know what true villainy is.
Let's bring them hell.
So easy when you're evil. This is the light you see, the devil.
Number 2. Lad Russo from Baccano. Lad is a prime example of a villain that just enjoys what he does so much that it just puts a smile on your face.
What's happening in the dining car? Is there blood? Who's killing who? Where did they get shot? I have to see. Things are really starting to get exciting. Yes, 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 yes.
Lad just loves the kill. In fact, it's probably all that he thinks about in his head. Lad doesn't care what his mob boss tells him to do, as long as he is able to kill in the most spectacular way. Some of my favorite moments of Baccano would be whenever Lad is on screen. This guy is just completely out of his mind. Isn't that right, lad?
Yeah, that's right!
All this puts Lad in the category of fun villains to watch, even though he is a mass serial killer who happens to have a wife who is a masochist. Yep. I don't think I have to say anything else. Lad Russo. Number 2. Next!
So easy when you're evil. This is the light you see, the devil.
Number 1. Johann Liebert from Monster. Where do I even begin with this guy? There is no villain as complex, as smart, as manipulative, as influential, and as goddamn evil than Johann Liebert. As a child, Johann, along with a bunch of other kids, were created in order to become the perfect soldier, someone that could be like the next Hitler. Well, with Johann, it's safe to say that they were 100% successful in this mission. The worst part about Johann is that to everyone else, Johann is just a normal guy who everyone loves and trusts. He's respected by those in authority, women fall in love with him, and children like following him around, and then proceed to play his game of falling off of roofs. Even throughout all of his murder and manipulation, his greatest evil in the show is gaining the trust of an ex-alcoholic, while then proceeding to break him piece by piece right before offering him one last drink.
Well, Richard, how about a drink?
Well, at least his twin sister looks like a nice person. Nothing like her brother. Oh. In the end, Johann is just a guy who doesn't mind if he's killed because the monster in the pure-hearted shooter will be unleashed. A finger to his forehead is all he does to indicate this. Out of all the villains to ever exist in anime, Johann Liebert equals their villainy and adds much, much more.
I woke up from the dream.
So tell me then, what did I kill all those people for?
There were so many visions I had of the end. But now, I'm picturing a different ending altogether.
So easy when you're evil. This is the light you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the